You're listening to Dating Dilemmas tonight on Passion. We are talking about players, the people with the Casanova Complex. Okay, somebody just called in, didn't want to come on the air, but they had a really good question, Frank. How do you spot a player? Every woman wants to know this. And stay away, of course.
I got to tell you that the most smooth players don't allow themselves to be spotted.
Ooh, okay, that's not good. So what do you look for?
Okay, if you want to find someone who loves being known as a player, look at the way they're dressed. They're dressed to get attention. During my player days, I experimented with dressing like a pimp and going out about town.
And you were successful, Frank?
Well, I got
dressed like a pimp?
Yes, because I got lots of attention. I would have people come up to me, especially when I walked to street festivals here in Montreal. Right. I would have couples walk up to me, and then the guy would be taking a picture of his girlfriend with me.
Right. So anything that attracts attention, so would it be like a really like fancy car too?
Loud fancy cars, anything that is designed to get the attention of the girl.
Okay.
And even though the guy might look like a clown. I mean, I dress like a pimp. I'm a big guy dressing like a pimp. I got lots of attention. I looked like a clown, but I got the attention I was looking for.
Okay.
Because women would immediately give me attention. One woman just once grabbed my hat, put it on her own head, and said, "It's my birthday, and I can do what I want." And they went to dance with her friends.
What else? What other things would you look for?
People who are trying to initiate conversations and using something called false time constraints.
What does that mean?
Okay, they come up to a table of people and they say, "Listen, I only have a couple of minutes, but let me get your opinion on something." And then a couple of minutes turns into 20 minutes and 30 minutes, and now they're sitting in with your group. And so you'll turn around and say, "Well, wait a minute. Didn't you say that you had to go meet your friend and you only had a couple of minutes to talk?" Mm-hmm. "Oh, that's okay." That's a sign of a player. They're already starting out with the lies.
They're scoping out. Okay. Mm-hmm.
They're starting out with the lies. One of the questions that players are often taught to ask is, how does everybody know each other? And it seems like a pretty, harmless question. Mm-hmm. They're trying to figure out who is single.
Who's matched, okay.
And who's matched. Because if I I think 3 of these girls are really pretty at this table, but it turns out that these 2 are dating the guys sitting at that table there, but this is the single one.
You're going to focus on that one.
Exactly.
Yeesh, never knew that tactic. What else?
Well, we're looking at the way that they're communicating. Look at their hand movements. And look at the times that they will point to themselves during telling of a story. So let's say they're telling a story, and I'll give you an example right now. If I start talking about my favorite childhood memory, but I start using sexual innuendo in the story, if I happen to point to myself during specific words of sexual innuendo, I am sub-communicating that you should feel those things towards me.
Mm-hmm. Yeesh, it's like subliminal seduction.
Exactly. So it's hitting you on multiple levels.
Okay, that's very difficult. What you're really saying, Frank, it's not so easy to spot.
It's not easy
because
to
they're
spot.
master manipulators.
Exactly. What you need to look for, and this is to all the women out there, you have to know what your personal boundaries are and stick to them.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Because if you're looking for signs, you're still putting the attention on the guy, which is exactly what we used. Mm-hmm. Put the attention on me, and I'll manipulate how you see me. The key here is that I could never seduce a woman who had her own boundaries set. Because regardless of what I presented and offered to her, even if she was tempted, if she had her own boundaries and she had her own rules set about what she would and would not do, there's nothing that a man can do to seduce her away from that.
Okay. So stick with your strong boundaries.
Exactly.
Makes a lot of sense. I hope that answers your question. It certainly illuminates it for us, Frank. Well, thank you very much for joining us this month, and we'll catch up with you again in July. Can't believe it's already this date.
July.
It's so far. It's so short. But anyhow, thank you very much for joining us. I want to thank all of you for listening. If you need to reach Frank, you can. Frank at franktalks.com. If you need to reach me, passion at CJAD.com. You can also follow me on Twitter. The Twitter handle is Dr. Laurie Sex Talk. I'd like to thank Matt Ward in Master Control. Thank you very much for keeping us on track. Coming up next, you've got news and then comedy for you. I want to wish you a wonderful rest of the evening, and do remember, life is short, so take the time to smell the flowers and indulge your passions.
From Loser to Seducer is the story of Frank B. Kermit. This book marks the triumph of a nice guy over most of his inner demons. This includes going from being a loser to managing 5 lovers at the same time, his first Valentine's date with 2 women at the same time, and getting back the one that got away. Want to learn how you can change your life? Buy this book at franktalks.com.